What's up, boys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This video is going to be multiple days. It's been a long week already. Today is now Wednesday, Monday. We came down here. We got the whole rear end stuff apart. Randy ordered some parts and pieces, overnighted them. Tuesday night, I went to the track Thundervalley with Lance, Dragwire Solutions, Austin, all those guys. So you should have already saw that video. If you didn't see that video, go check it out. It was the one that posted before this one. And then we're back down here on Wednesday now. Randy Haywood with Carolina Dyno, he is over here. He's going to help set up this rear end, get all this stuff perfect so we don't have any issues. Got a bunch of new parts. We got a new gear. We're going to go with that higher viscosity, the Redline shockproof gear oil. So that should hopefully get us our rear end issues solved. Hopefully we're going to be good. We did have, I think we were under capacity as well. So that's, just is what it is. We hadn't been putting enough oil in it, type of oil, and, to set up on the rear end. I think we had it pretty close, but you never can tell. I mean, stuff breaks all the time. So here we go. Check it out. This is going to be a multi-day video. I was working on this car, working on my car, working on the smart car. It's going to be fun. Check it out. Comment, like, and subscribe. All right, so Haywood's over here now. Carolina Dyno. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How you doing today?
I am good. So he is cleaning this. So we have
we
have limited tools at a body shop, right? Not a mechanic shop. So look, there you go. Look, now that is some stuff 100% that I would do. We ain't got no air turn on, and because it's just got a little bit of stuff. He's just trying to knock the sharp edge off. But so he's cleaning all that stuff up. Got some clearancing to do in here on this part again, like we were talking about, and got some new center support stuff. Gears are brand new. It is a 9.5 inch gear. This is a 9 inch that was on there, so it's already got the bearing and stuff pressed on it. So I got to clean it up real good. And if you look, they had set this gear up, but you can see it's not being run. This is a 370 Pro gear as well. Now that ring and pinion over there, it had 9 pinion teeth. This one's got 10. So that's going to be much bigger. It's going to be much stronger. The gear, of course, is a little thinner and a little bit more lightweight because it's, the pinion is bigger. But it's got 37 teeth over here, 10 over here, 370. And if you look at the pattern on this, the pattern is not bad. The way you want to look at it, drive gear, drive side is this flat one. The coast side is the back side that's tapered down. And you see they had a pretty decent pattern on this when they marked it. It wasn't bad, wasn't terrible. We'll try to get it a little bit more centered. I think Randy wants to. Mike down at with the Challenger, he's got this nice T&D machine pinion depth tool. So we're going to try to use this to get the pinion depth all right, so we don't have to. Hopefully we don't have to have quite as many shims as we had last time, because we did have a lot. But this is good. Bearing's already pressed on. So he's going to be assembling this thing in just a few minutes. I am working on the smart car as well. They're going to be doing the rear end stuff. I'm going to be working on this. The smart car stopped working, and it just stopped. You got the oil changed, and it just quit. We pulled the plugs out of it on Monday night, and the plugs were, man, they were trash. Look at this. They were sparking, but they were not sparking good. But they are fouled like crazy. So I don't know if that's the whole problem or not. So he's got us some new plugs. So we're going to stick plugs in it, and hopefully it's going to fire up. Coils seem to be sparking. We don't know what the deal is. If this doesn't fix it, just putting plugs in it, then we may have a crank sensor or cam sensor possible issue bad, or there may be something else. We did do a cranking compression test on it, 150 to 170 pounds of pressure. The spark plugs are right down there. It's real hard to get to, but we did get that out. So I'm gonna do that. Hopefully this thing cranks up. Luckily Donald let us borrow his car last time we were at the track, but hopefully we can get this one working. All right, hang on. Okay, so put plugs in, it's still not doing it. So we're in this thing here. We're on the camshaft control, and it says $8.99 is the value now. And it's supposed to be minus 50 to 7 for the camshaft position. So I would think this would be changing, but it is not changing. So Randy's going to get a camshaft sensor. Let's see if we can put that in and maybe it'll crank. All right, so it's got an issue. Bearings are not all the right ones.
Carry bearings are incorrect.
So, why do you gotta have so many freaking choices and options on 9-inch stuff? Because that, I mean...
40 spline, 35 spline takes 33 and 35 are about the same carry bearing. 40 splines of different bearings.
Right. And I mean, you told them what they had, and they gave them what they... I guess they thought what they needed. Okay, so Haywood's going to be doing that tomorrow. So I am still working on the smart car. We tried to crank it up. It did not work. We did find under here, right there, is the camshaft sensor. Crankshaft sensor is under the bottom. So we took crankshaft sensor, unplugged it, and we got no RPM, so we're pretty sure that's right. So now we're thinking camshaft value doesn't seem to be changing, even with it unplugged. So maybe it's bad. Luckily, Randy has a couple of smart cars out there that we're fixing to rob a sensor off of. Hang on. Hey guys, so Brad was checking the fuses and stuff and looking on the internet, and he found a thread where somebody had said, put it in neutral and try to crank it. He put it in neutral and it tried to crank, and it did crank. But now so apparently we've got a problem with the gear selector. Cranks up, purrs like a kitten. There's a slight problem. It has, we think it's got a blown head gasket. And he took it to a mechanic, and that's what they thought it was. And it is got a blown head gasket, we're pretty sure. So, yeah, I mean, it ain't smoking as bad as it was, Brad. But it is pressurizing the coolant, and it's missing a little bit.
Now
Check engine light just come on. So, yeah, never ending. So, smart car, our buddy Donald has got somebody that said he can replace the head gasket on it. Apparently, you have to drop the whole motor and the K-member and everything out to replace it. Yeah, never ending. All right, boys. Well, we're back over here at my house now working on my race car. Been working on it in between for the last couple weeks. Let me show you what I got done, and I'll show you what we're going to get done. Got a few things to finish today, and then hopefully this one will be ready to go make some test passes soon as well. Check this out. All right, guys. Well, we did manage. I don't know if you saw the last video or not. I was kind of poking at Austin a little bit, but I did rewire my headlights. And so what I decided to do, there was a couple people that had some comments, and I agree. I'm gonna run both. I'm gonna run the inner and the outer at the same time. I think that's gonna be the coolest. I think it's gonna look the nicest. It's gonna give me the best of both worlds. So I think we're gonna be in good shape there. Also, T&D rocker arms went ahead and wanted to go through the lash. Hadn't done that in a few weeks. So I done this the other night, went through, had a couple that were a little loose, but the biggest thing you're checking, when you're checking rocker arms, you're looking for broken springs, seeing if you see anything out of the ordinary, making sure that none of them are way off. Usually there'll be a couple thousandths here or there, but usually not too bad, and that's what we had this time. Went through all of them, had Kelly in the car. We set these on cold lash, steel block, aluminum heads. We set them on about 16 thousandths. You'll grow about 6 or 8 thousandths. Cold lash to hot lash. So when it's hot, it'll be a little bit looser. Now, if you have, like my old small block Chevrolet, aluminum block, aluminum heads, then it grows a lot more. I think 12 to 15, 16 thousandths. The cold lash grows a lot more with an aluminum block and an aluminum head. So we're going to wrap that back up, get the valve covers back on it. I've got these reusable valve cover gaskets, the blue ones. They work really, really good and seal pretty tight. I don't know if anybody's ever used these. I'm sure people have, but they work good. I think they're Felpro or Moroso, but they've got a steel insert, so you can't really over tighten it. Went to Billet Atomizer's website for the injectors. If y'all remember last time, we had some stuck injectors. So he made a post not too long ago that they now offer filters. And so these filters go in the top of the injectors. I think he said they were up to like 900 pounds per hour, and then you have to send the injectors in for calibration. So we're going to go ahead and put these in today as well. That should be pretty simple. Basically, take the fuel rail off, pop the fuel rail up, and then drop these down in there and then put the fuel rail back on. It looks like it just is that simple. So Billet Atomizer, got a few extras of those. So I got some O-rings, so we're good there. The other thing I did as well, the other week, I bought some injector clean pliers. I know everybody hated us using those vice grips. So these were like on Amazon. I got a couple different pairs. These actually have a rubber piece here, so I thought that might be pretty cool. But then I also got this different name brand to see which one I like better. But they're basically the same. You see how they're flat jaws and they go. It's got the little lever in it. So we'll see if we have to take the injectors back apart. Billet Atomizer has a whole kit. So I didn't get the whole kit because I had already ordered the pliers. But so we ordered everything else in the kit. So I'm going to do that. So valve cover's back on it, injectors. And then also, now we had some problems with Randy's. Mine was a little quart low, and Randy Haywood suggested this. So I got some gear oil. It says 85.90 weight, but apparently it has some stuff in it, micro solid technology or something. That red line heavy shockproof gear oil. It's like $23 or $26 a quart. But I'm gonna stick a quart of that in it, and it says it's compatible with other fluid as well, which I've got 75/90 regular. I think it's some type of synthetic in there. So got that. So we're gonna we got all the wishbone stuff back on last time, so we're good there. So we're going to go ahead and put the quarter transmission fluid in. I got more weight. So we're going to probably add more weight here. I'm going to extend my wing. And if you look, the height of the wing is right about where that T&D machine is. So we're going to extend the wing. I got some tubes, ordered that from Stock Car Steel. So we're going to go ahead and do that today as well. Attempt to get most of it done. Hang on. I'll show you how it looks in a minute. All right, boys. I don't know if I like it or not, but it is what it is. I have the wing now at rooftop. It is raised. I basically made some extensions, and these extensions, they go down into the trunk and then bolt on. And then I drilled and bolted this to here. So it's very secure. And if you look at it, it is about where the roof line is. Actually almost dead with it. So you notice in a couple other videos, the smoke from this pipe, think about the airflow coming off of the back of this, it detaches. And so when it comes here, this actually goes up some. So this is definitely going to get it into the cleaner air. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so done with that. Done with the back of the car. Got the wheels on it. Everything's done in the rear end. Wings on it. So now we've got to do the injectors. I think that's going to be tomorrow night. I don't know if I showed y'all this or not. I got this thing off at Etsy. Spark plug holder. That's pretty cool. Small block Chevy or big block Chevy. I like it. All right, boys, easy enough. So these are the little screens that now Billet Atomizer has, and they just go right down on top. Very, very small, very easy. Literally, it just drops right in. So just stick it in there, and then just push it down in there, and it stays stuck up just a tad, so that, I guess, when you want to take it out, you just grab it with a pair of pliers. Now, I don't know, I bought some extras. They were like 80 cents a piece. So go to Billet Atomizer's website, grab you some of those. Maybe they can catch some trash, especially like if you have a good fuel system, if it's done properly, then in theory, these things should not get clogged up. But anytime you remake a line, anytime you have this stuff apart, then there's a chance that you get trash from the filter out to the Ys, and that's where you get the issue. Because in theory, in a perfect world, in most of the time, that anytime you get trash down in this side, the filter catches the element. So hopefully this will prevent some of our sticking issues. They do flow a ton. I think that's one of the reasons that Billet Atomizer I think that's one of the reasons they didn't do it is because of injector flow, but they probably had these custom made so that they flow enough. I think it says if you have a 900 and above injector that you have to get it sent to them so they can recalibrate things. So my injectors are 800s, so these will go right in. So check out Billet Atomizers. All right, boys, well, that's gonna wrap it up for today. We can crank this thing up in a minute. It's a little cold outside still, so hopefully in the next couple days, we'll crank this thing up, get fire in the hole, run it over. We've been turning it over as we were adjusting rock arms and stuff, but we just ain't cranked it up. Reprimed the fuel system. All that is good. Basically, that electric pump I've got works awesome. You just crack these off, and then you're set. So I got those Billet Atomizer screens in there. Hopefully, I didn't get any trash in there when I had it apart. That's always risky, but hopefully we'll be okay. I guess we'll crank it up and try to hopefully test it this coming week. Galot Motorsports Park is testing next Thursday. As long as the weather is good, we may go there. You may say, why are you testing at Galot Motorsports Park when you're in dig or die trim? And it's about drive shaft curves. It's about data. My goal at dig or die is to have the tire hooked up just like it is on a prepped drag strip. So if I can make that happen, we'll be fast. Comment, like, and subscribe. See y'all later.